Alright, how's it going, everybody? This is Ismortah, and this is episode 17 of my custom Ismortah Kingdom Death Monster campaign. And we're in Lantern Year 6, and we are hunting our first Screaming Antelope. So we'll be following this hunt track, pursuing this, trying to get to this Screaming Antelope while braving this nightmarish hellscape. So the structure is, I'm going to show you the strategy for who I'm currently taking and their gear grids. Then I'm going to do all the bonuses for departing. Then we're going to do the hunt. And then we'll do the bonuses for arriving at the showdown. And then we'll set up the showdown board and the strategy, how I'm going to hunt. How I'm going to then fight this Screaming Antelope. Yeah, this is the first time I've done it in this new campaign, so it'll be fun, because I have not seen this monster in a long time, and every time you fight it, it's completely different. And depending on how easy and hard the fight is, just like I mentioned before with the White Lion, I might entertain even do a level 2. Just because you get a little bit better rewards. It just, you typically get like 50% better rewards, but then the monster is, with everything combined, twice as difficult. Because they're harder to kill, but then they do a little bit more damage, and they do it more often. So what I've noticed with my team now is, for these level 2 monsters, I can definitely do enough damage, for sure. It's just, can I take the damage is the thing. Now that I have 2 people with gear, and have 5 survival, that's really possible. And the fact that I have some ways I can manipulate monster behavior, it might be possible. But I haven't fought the Screaming Antelope yet, so see how intense that is. So here's a picture of the Screaming Antelope. As far as the showdown, anyway. You can see he's got that mouth in his belly. You can see the teeth protruding. You ready? And he's down here as well. I'll show you the miniature a little bit closer. Meh. You think, oh wow, it's a really cool just antelope. I mean, that's true, but he's also got this nasty belly. Bad news bears. Okay, so the first things first is I want to show you the strat and who I'm taking. So just like I mentioned before, when I take people on hunts now, I kind of want to have the whole gamut of the type of people in the settlement. That way, I'm not just making the most powerful people more powerful, because then if they happen to die or something, then I have nobody of value. But at the same time, you don't want people to age too fast either, because this is a long campaign, right? So I sort of want to do the gamut. I want to take people who are fresh off the boat, people who are seasoned, and people who've seen maybe a couple fights. And so what I have here, I'm bringing Timothy, Eltkor, Oko, and Snahavium. Timothy is a brand new character in the settlement. I mean, it's who is already in population. So he has 0 hunt experience. I have Eltkor, who has 4 hunt experience, who's proficient with the club. You know what he's all about. I have Oko, who I made proficient with the spear, just he wasn't in the last battle, so I want to try to give him more hunt experience. He currently has 2. And then, of course, Snahavium, who's seasoned as well, who's really going to be the person that potentially might take over in as far as leadership from Isma, who still has it. It just, she's mentally and physically maimed. And Snahavium is proficient in the Qatar, almost at the level of specialist. So I have 2 with 4 hunt experience, 1 with 2, and 1 with 0. And of course, we're rocking the bow, the club, the guitar, and the spear. And then I switched up some gear. So I archived a lot of the older stuff, including the bone blade, a bunch of the stone noses. I still have Lucky Charm in my storage, cloth, founding stones. I eventually want to use the other Lucky Charm I got, but I can't quite make the connections with the blue yet. Because you have to make 2 blue squares. I can only make 1 because I have all these square puzzle pieces for the right. I need the left-hand side. So we'll see if some of this new gear I get unlocks. But the person with the club is currently rocking a full set of rawhide. So not only does he have a two armor everywhere, but also has some cool bonuses to evasion, as well as a bonus to the strength with the monster tooth necklace. And then the nature of the rawhide armor is you can, every time you spend survival, you can get it back, which means this character can keep dashing as a survival action potentially to bash, and that way he's not limited by being cumbersome. Is a strategy there. And since he has a lot of evasion and armor, he's also a pretty good tank. So if the monster is always in his face, that way he doesn't have to move and hit this bash. He can spend survival just to survive. So he's a pretty good tank as well. And then the headband also has the ability that can potentially manipulate what AI cards are coming up, which is also good. They get rid of those A cards. Now, Snahaven with the guitar, I finally joined everything having to do with the cat together, which is cool. So now, Snahaven has both guitars and the full White Lion set. Why is that important? Because the full White Lion set not only gives you a +1 bonus to all armor, but it gives you this super bonus if you're using guitar. The fact that you get +2 strength and +1 speed. So now the guitars, you're rolling hella dice, pretty good chance at hitting, pretty good chance at wounding. It's awesome. And of course, and one thing I think I kept forgetting, which I showed here on the grid, is you also get a +1 movement with the White Lion boots also, which is cool. And then she also gets a bonus if she pounces on top of the bonus just from completing the set, or by having a pair of guitars. So like, this is a huge bonus here. And being able to dash and tank is huge for this character. So these characters, that's where the season, have really the best stuff. These other 2 characters are more support, so I want them to be able to do damage or to do support activities, but not take the brunt of the attack, because they don't have much armor. They have really good head armor, both, but other than that, just a little bit to waste. So I don't want them to be the target of the attack. So that's why both have skull helms, Drydecanthus to stop severe injury, and more support weapons, but at range. So like this one has the bow, and the other one has a spear that can attack at range 2, as opposed to the bow that's range 6. And then they also have special abilities. This Oko can bandage people, can harp the monster, and then also can fecal salve herself. Whereas the bow person can use the clawhead arrow to make the monster easier to hit if he hits, and then also the cat eye circlet, the ability to manipulate potentially the monster's hit location deck. So I got additional damage at range and some special abilities that can support the team, and then too many people are getting close. That is a strategy. Alright, so before I depart, now I've already updated everyone's stats with their gear, but now I need to do all of the departing effects as we depart for the hunt. So let's see if anyone has anything that departs. Like by default, because of our innovations, everyone will get 3 survival when they depart, but then individually see what else triggers. So start with Snahavium. I'm just looking for the word depart. I see nothing here. Disorders, nothing that manipulates. Okay. So she goes up to 5 survival. I get 3, but the max is 5 currently. That's one of the reasons I'm also trying to innovate, is try to find ways to raise that cap if possible. Okay, Oko is already at 5 survival, and let's see if he has ability to gain more survivals when you depart, but he's already at max. Okay. Elkor goes from 2 to 5. And has to move 1 space. But, let's see, does he have anything else when he departs? Gains a bunch of survival, which he already has, so no. And then Timothy departs extra 2 survival. So when he departs, he gets 5 survival. And he's currently at 1, so he will gain 4. So he goes to 5. And he has no disorders for now. Alright, so everyone is at 5 survival. For insanity, I have 2 people that are pretty good, Oko and Sahavians at 6 and 11. These 2, though, are really low, dangerously low. We have 0 and 1, so they definitely need insanity. And that's one of the reasons why I invested in getting bloodletting, is because the way that I could invest in giving someone a decent amount of sanity, because that protects you from brain attacks, psychic attacks, as opposed to physical attacks that armor protects. Cool. So we have departed. Now I've already shuffled the hunt deck for the Antelope, and we have it all ready to go. Now take a swig of coffee, then we'll begin. All right. So I'm just gonna you always have to nominate who's leading the event, and it always alternates. I'm gonna start with Elkor, only because I really want him to have the opportunity to gain another understanding. So I want him to go first, and I'm just gonna go clockwise, with the most valuable character I would say right now is Nahavian last. Now Oko has so much courage and understanding. It could be, I always nominate whoever has the most courage and understanding to be the leader of the tribe. So it could be that Elkor is actually going to be second command instead of Nahavian, but we'll see. Isma evaded a death before, and the settlement had to suffer from it because she was attacked, as you know, during the beginning of this Lantern year. Okay, so let's go. So Elkor is going to go first. Person with the club. I don't have a club miniature, but you know he's got an axe. I mean, he's holding a heavy weapon. All right, so this one is Dead Antelope. Don't worry if you can't read it, because I'll read it to you. I just wanted to show you what the card looked like. So whatever happens on this, you do something, and then also do a random hunt event on top of that. Okay, so Dead Antelope. The survivors are struck by the scent of rotting meat wafting from a hulking corpse ahead. The event revealer may lead the survivors to investigate. If they do, gain 1 random vermin resource, 2 random... Oh yeah, we're totally doing that. Yeah, we're totally investigating. Wow, this is interesting. What's interesting about this is I gain free resources, but if I roll a really high number, I'm going to actually hunt a white lion instead of a dead antelope, because I'll be finding its killer. Interesting. I mean, I want to investigate and see what happens. Okay, we are going to investigate, gain 1 random vermin resource, and 2 random screaming antelope. So we get some free screaming antelope, which is cool, and a free vermin. So naturally, I forgot to move all my stuff over here, so I don't have to walk over the fucking cord. So put this stuff here. Okay, we get a vermin. I'm not sure the last time I shuffled the vermin deck. I'm assuming I did not, ever since I got Lonely Ant many hunts ago. It's kind of like the first time, I believe, well, the first time we hunted a white lion not getting attacked by a white lion is, you know, I found a cub. Maybe that was the third time I fought it. And it's like, oh shit. It's the ability to learn more about the species and also harvest resources. So that's what I'm thinking about when I see this dead antelope. It's like, oh shit. Let's do it. So we'll see what happens. I do want to hunt an antelope, so I hope it doesn't end in fighting the white lion, but if so, you know, it be what it be. Alright, so we found a hissing cockroach, in which you can archive this to lose all survival to gain 2d10 insanity. And it says if you are insane, you have to consume this. So Eltcore, I don't believe is insane. I believe he has 1 insanity, so he won't consume it immediately. But we found that he has a hissing cockroach. And then we get 2 random screaming antelope resources, and then roll a d10. So we get 2 of these. Okay, so we found a pelt and a beast stick. And I realized I forgot to show you the hissing cockroach. Okay. Alright, so he's holding 3 resources. Just in case anything triggers as opposed to someone with resources. And then roll a d10. It's a 5. And it said on a 7+, the survivors are startled by a lion, but we don't see the attacker of who killed this body. We just found the body, looted the body, and then carry on. Just reading the bottom of this. They really should have had when they talk about result 7, part of the same paragraph, when they talk about how to set up the white line thing, because it kind of implies that it's a different paragraph that I do that regardless, but I don't. Because it says on 7+, we're startled by a white lion, but we're not. So that means we don't see it. And then, oh, I see. You only do a random hunt event if you don't investigate. We did investigate. Okay, so that's the end of that one. We investigated a dead antelope. We're like, all right, the antelopes are over here, but something terrible happened to one of the antelopes. We don't know what. Okay, so he led that one. So who's leading the next one is going to be Timothy, or Newbie. He's going to see what's in this new area, which I roll on the hunt table. And again, I have to roll a D100, which is that you roll 2d10s. This is 10s and this is 1s. We got a 19. We'll see what that is. That's interesting. I've never seen that one before, that you can get intercepted. And what's interesting about that one is it was really bad because I would actually fight a monster 1 level higher than what I was doing. So I would actually fight a level 2 white lion if that happens. So it's like, here, this whole time I'm talking about fighting a level 2. It's like, well, don't count your eggs before they hatch. You know what I mean? Okay, so right now I'm just looking for the table that has the 100 different possibilities that could happen for generic events during the hunts. I can't find it. I think it's behind all the story stuff. I just can't find it. Or maybe it's in front of all the story stuff. Got it. Can't remember. It's been so long. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So I rolled a 19. 19 is Exhalation of Darkness. That sounds like it's gonna suck. The survivors are enveloped in a steamy darkness that dims their lantern lights. Remember, all of them are always carrying one lantern light with them. Like, for example, one of these miniatures they haven't seen in a while, they're replaced since I have a female doing the guitars, who's pretty hot, holding a shard. You know, she's also holding a lantern, as you see. See it there. Okay. The minis are cool. The survivors are enveloped in a steamy darkness that dims their lantern lights. They become separated from each other and hopelessly lost. If a survivor has the leader fighting art, stuff happens, but no one's a leader. Otherwise, each survivor rolls 1d10, and the lowest becomes a straggler. Now, also take into account that some of these people have special things because of courage or understanding. So, for example, Eltcor has prepared that he can add his hunt experience to the roll when determining if a straggler. So when he rolls for his straggler roll, he can add his value, so he's prepared and won't be a straggler. Okay. So now we're going to roll for everybody. So Eltcor, whatever it is, +4. So he rolled a 1, so he has a 5. Timothy has a 4. So the lowest is the straggler, which will have special effects depending on what happens. Oko is a 6. And Snahavium is a 4. Now, I don't recall what happens if it's a tie, so let me check. The lowest scoring survivor or survivors in case of ties. So I have 2 with a 4, so Snahavium and Timothy are both stragglers. Now I wonder, for prepared, does that only affect Eltcor or does that affect both? Let me look it up because I'm not entirely sure. I'm assuming it only affects Eltcor. Eltcor is prepared because he's courageous. We'll play that way. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I don't think it affects the entire party. Okay. So now each straggler rolls a d10. So the stragglers are these 2. So now I'll roll for both of them. So Timothy got a 2. That's probably really bad. And Snahavium got a 1, and that's probably extremely bad. Okay, so. Both of them, it's the same outcome if you rolled a 1 or a 2. So because of that, now I'm going to double check prepared just to see if that affects everybody. Because, yeah. Just because that could make some not a straggler. Of course, there would be a straggler regardless. Let me check some. I'm looking at bold just to see how prepared works. I just don't understand. It says, when rolling to determine a straggler, add your hunt experience to the roll result. But is that just when he rolls to determine if he's a straggler or anybody? It looks like how a lot of these work is, it affects only you as a person. You understand you're courageous. Okay, okay, that's probably how it plays. Okay, so both of these have this outcome. You trip, and fall into the bones of an ancient monster, smashing a piece of gear on the way down. Archive one gear of your choice from your gear grid. So unfortunately, both those people lose a piece of gear. So that also kind of sucks. I mean, because, well, it doesn't for Timothy because he has some gear that I can get rid of that I don't care. Like, I can get rid of Acanthus, I could get rid of a stone nose or a cloth, but unfortunately, Snahavian doesn't have anything that's expendable. These are all really good pieces that are cat pieces. So that's unfortunately a problem. So, well, let me do Timothy first because it's easiest. Stone noses you can get back with endeavors. And I kind of have too many. Whereas cloth takes a resource, but you can't make cloth. But I'm trying to replace the cloth anyway. Actually give people real gear. I don't think I want to necessarily waste an endeavor. But I do have 3 stone noses, is the other thing. But it's also a way to gain insanity. So I think in this case, and then Acanthus I'll get more, but I'm using it to also save the Skull Helm. So if I get a Fatal Blow to the head, they can stop on Fatal Blow. So I think I'll lose a cloth. We'll archive a cloth. But Snahavium, she has all cat gear, and I don't want to do the cat again. Unless I have to. And I need the whole set for the set bonus. I need the guitars. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to lose the lion headdress, which sucks. Yeah. I think so. We're going to have to lose the lion headdress. Which added 1 armor. Which, so it's cool. It gets, like, layered. But we lost it. Alright, so that puts down her armor on the head from 4 to 3. Okay. Boo. Okay, so let's see, anything else on that? The stragglers both had stuff happen. Okay, so we basically lost gear. They fell, they landed on themselves and demolished their gear. She demolished her waist, which now I gotta take that off also. God, if that's true, maybe I should take off the Acanthus. Or the stone nose. Because that makes her more vulnerable to... Alright, no. I already did it. Okay. So she has 0 to waist, and now Snahavian has only 3 to head. Okay. So now the next person leading the charge is going to be Oko for this next event. Man, you can lose gear from your gear grid. Ugh, it sucks. And heroes leaving a space so I can pick up a piece. Now, the opposite could also be true. If you have extra pieces, then you have something you can at least sacrifice if you have to lose one. Ugh, Christ. Good to know. But I mean, technically I did. But, man. Anyway. So, this one is Carpet of Ticks. Ticks. So, Carpet of Bugs. The ground is covered with a carpet of huge, writhing ticks. Each survivor must try to fend off the swarm, roll 1d10 and add your hunt experience to the result. And then stuff happens depending on what happens. Okay, so again, we're going to roll for everybody, and they can add their hunt experience to the roll. So we'll start with, the reveal. We'll start with Oko. We got an 8 plus 2, that's a 10. Snahavium, 2 plus 4 is a 6. Elkor, 5 plus 4 is a 9. And then Timothy, 8 plus 0 is an 8. All right, see what that means. On a 6 plus, you successfully smash the ticks away in a shower of gore. Everybody has a 6 or better, so that's what all of them do. They land in ticks, and they smash them before they can do anything bad to them. Okay. So far, I lost, in this pursuit of the hunt, I lost 2 pieces of gear, but I gained 3 resources. So, technically it's a wash. Okay. And then the next thing we do then is move into the Antelope space and we begin the hunt. I mean, we begin the showdown. All right. Man, lose gear. Ugh, I hate losing gear. Because, like, that's what empowers the settlement, is gaining gear and resources. And to lose it doesn't just hurt you, it hurts the whole civilization. But it's a wash. Like I said, we lost 2 pieces of gear. But we got a hide, an organ, and a vermin. So, technically it's a wash. Alright, so now we set up the hunt event. So to do that, I'd go back to the page that I just closed, actually. So the setup is the monsters in the center, and then there's a bunch of acanthus here that it's eaten off of. And then we also have 2 random terrains, which I've already determined randomly. And then where we set up is on the short edge of the board. So we'll set up here or there. So obviously we're going to set up here because it's closer to the camera. And there's also a bug spot as well, which makes sense because we found ticks on the way here, so there's more bugs near the monster also. 1, 2, 3, and the bug is 5 spaces away. Okay. So the monster, let's say, you know, and it's also, the monster's also going to attack us first because it's the beginning of the round, so let's have it facing us. These go away. I believe these are the terrains. All right, so for terrains, there's going to be 6 acanthus, a bug patch, 3 stone columns, which you can use to block line of sight, but are destructible, and 1 ore vein. All right, so let's get those pieces. Yeah, that's a lot of acanthus. And 3 columns. So we have 3 columns. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's a bug. We need to find 1 more acanthus. Okay, so we got 2, 4, 6 acanthus, 3 columns, 1 bug. And then we also need 1 ore vein. Okay. Which we have not seen ore before. But we also haven't seen many bugs, so you can see more possible vermin. Okay, so now we look up at the setup rules for the stuff. Okay. So, the only rule that it makes that supersedes whatever rules are there is the 6 acanthus has to be placed anywhere basically in the circle that you see. That overrules any rulings for placement here. Otherwise, everything else, these 2, I followed the rules and bought on the card. Bug patch has to be placed 5 spaces away. Like, for example, on this bug patch, it says you place adjacent to the monster. But on the showdown placement rules, it said, no, place this 5 spaces away from the monster. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the plants have to be spaced, I believe, 4 spaces within a 4-space diamond of the monster. Okay. So I'll do these next. And then the columns rules just say 4 spaces from all other terrain. So because of that, they're probably going to be far away, like on the corners of the board. And then the ore says 6 spaces from all other terrain. So that's going to be really far away also. But considering, like, I could hide behind a stone column, but if it's an antelope and he charges or something, then it's going to destroy it anyway, so I don't think that would be dependable. But the ore and this, would be nice to have it close so I can loot it. And I have to start off in a line here with my dudes. Which then also means maybe initially when I start off, I could be hiding behind a pillar. That's possible. Okay. So, let me put these rules over here so out of the way. And I definitely want to scavenge the bug also, of course. And it makes sense the bug's close to us because we've already been traversing through bugs. So, thematically, it still fits. Which I like. Like I said, I always rule story over mechanics. Always. It's all about the experience. Which I know mechanics add the experience, but for me, if you're immersed enough in what you're doing, you won't, even though you'll be doing mechanics, you won't see them. Because you won't be thinking about it. I got a kitty looking at me. I got a little kitty. My kitty came to visit. He heard me talking. He did. Okay. So this has to be placed 6 from everything. And same with the columns? Same with the columns. Columns have to be 4 spaces. The ore has to be 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can start off right on top of the ore if I wanted to. Which I want to. And then the columns have to be 4 spaces away from anything. So I could have them be kind of close. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, it has to be. This has to be 4 away, but this has to be 6 away, so I can't do that. Right? 6 space away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I could do that. And completely block it off, but then I'm trapped. That's not a bad. That's kind of a bad idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So maybe we'll do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. The question is, do I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Just to block line of sight. This way, when the monster's looking, if I have my group over here, I'm out of line of sight. Almost. If I do that, I'm out of line of sight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I set up like this, I'm blocking all of the monster's line of sight. So I can have, if I have my people here, he initially won't come after me if he needs line of sight. And instead he'll just graze. It might be what I want to do. Because then I can loot something here my first turn and move. And still be behind line of sight. Meaning I can pick up this and this. I can have people start here. But he'll have line of sight. Let's see. trying to find a way to manipulate the board to what I want to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, can't do that. Because I need to block. I can't have anybody here. This person will get aggro, but the monster will go first. So as long as I'm here, he won't see me. And then I can move over here. So maybe that's what I'll do. I'll start off my 4 people like here. All of them will be hiding from line of sight. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'll start off the 4 here. That's what I'll do. I think I'm gonna do, and have someone who can go 6 spaces there. I have 2 people that can go 6. My person with the guitar, and spear. So I could have her start here potentially. I think I have to at least be here to block line of sight, honestly. So if that's the case, maybe I can want to move over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I start here, I'm behind line of sight. Because if I go corner to corner, these squares would be safe. Okay. And I have people with different disabilities too, disorders I mean, that I need to also keep track of as well. So because the columns, I'm hiding behind line of sight. Out of line of sight, because I'm approaching from the columns. And there's a bunch of bugs and other resources, fortunately, where we're at, which we already, like I said, started traversing through just to get to the monster. We went over a dead body, we found bugs, now we're finding more bugs and some gems. And then on the other side of these columns, hiding, is our quarry. So I think we're going to start here. That way even when he goes first, as long as whatever does block the line of sight, most likely he's going to sniff and just eat acanthus. But we still have to set up the acanthus. So all of the acanthus starts near the monster, which it is eating. Now the acanthus says has to be 6 spaces away from all acanthus, but there's no way you can do that with 6 in this grid. So it's just wherever I want to place it. Have it sort of spaced. I'll also have it sort of spaced out so it looks more like a field is what I'm going to do. Whereas the columns looks like it was like some space that was used at one point in time by a civilization or something maybe. And then you have like this garden on the other side of the patio maybe. Who knows? Maybe there is a way to set this up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe there is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, maybe I was incorrect. Maybe there is a way to actually set this up and have it be equally spaced. It looks like I did it, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I thought there wasn't a way. There is a way. Okay. So we have a ring of acanthus, a arch of columns, then we have some bugs and gems on the side, and our party's starting on top of the gem. Cool, so that's the initial setup of the showdown. Now, the last thing to do during the stream is, I just realized that looks kind of like a face hugger. Actually, it's a face with a crab claw. So actually, it is a face hugger. Is to set up what bonuses I get for arriving. Oh, and actually, that gold was set up incorrectly. It's set up 4 spaces away, but it's not on the same orthogonal as where the monster is, actually. We start up here or here, and the bug is always on this side, actually. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 is where the bug is. But it's still the strategy I want to do. I'm sorry, it's 5 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if that's the case, I can put it on this side even if I want to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I'll do that. So we have this patio arch, this ring of plants, and a bug over here, and a gem over here. Okay, so that's set up. My kitty's being a kitty. Last thing to do is to determine all of this now arrival bonuses to the showdown. And then that'll be it for the stream. See, now what are we starting with? Okay, so I'll start with Snahavium. And by default on arrival, everybody gets, where is it? 1 survival because of the harp. Play some soft tunes, light rock, let's talk. On top of anything else. So arrival, nothing here. So gets 1 survival, already maxed, so that's done. Next is Oko, who gets 1 survival, already maxed, and also more survival, already maxed, and 1 insanity. So it goes from 6 to 7. Okay. Got a kitty looking at me. Elkcore is already at 5 and goes from anything else on arrival? Nope. So that's it. And it has 1 insanity. But I plan on like using Frenzy Drink to give him a shit ton more insanity toward the end, is the plan. Timothy is at 5. Anything else on arrival? Gets a bunch more in survival, which can't do, and 1 insanity. So he goes from 0 to 1 insanity. Okay, so that is it. So we are ready to go to the showdown, which will be the next stream. So, and again, my strategy here is hide, do some initial loot, get into good position, and then flank the monster with 2 different groups. That way, if he charges, at least 1 person's in range to attack, and the other people will have to dash, is the strategy I'm thinking. And lead him toward here, that way I can loot this as well. And try to trap in the corner, maybe even behind the columns, to restrict movement. So we'll see how that goes. So try to get the monster in here, is the idea. Get this, kite, loot, kite over here. Cool. Well, that's the end of the stream. The next stream is going to be the battle with this Screaming Antelope. We'll see what cool abilities it can do. Different from a cat. And we'll see how it goes. Hopefully victorious. Let's see what cool stuff we can make from antelope parts. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Again, this is Ismortah. And I have multiple videos weekly continuing my KDM campaign, so tune in for future episodes and check out YouTube or Twitch for previous episodes. Thanks for watching.